The purpose of this first question is so you can see what the solution to an equation is. So we're not actually going to solve, but we're going to check to see if this value does solve the equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out if m is 1, we're going to substitute or replace a 1 where we see that m. So when we plug it in there, we're just going to use order of operations on this side and do the work inside the parentheses. 1 decreased by 2 is negative 1. Could do your keep change inverse there to do a 1 plus negative 2 if you'd like. Now I'll bring down the minus 3 equals 9. We do have to multiply before we get to the subtraction. This would give us negative 4 take away 3 equals 9. And lastly, if you want to do your keep change inverse again, to confirm, negative 4 plus a negative 3 is negative 7. That's not equal to 9, so that value of 1 they gave us in the beginning is not the solution. So that mystery number could be anything, and there's only one number that when you plug it in makes it true, and m equals 1 is not it. So the answer to the first question is no. Number 3 is the same type of question, except this time we're going to check a value of negative 1. So right there where you see the mystery number, we're going to plug a negative 1 in its place. You'll notice I just used parentheses because when you do write the variable and the constant right next to each other, it does mean multiply. Get down into the next step here. And we're going to multiply before we add, which gives us a negative 3 plus 2 equals negative 1. And this is a true statement. So that value of x equals negative 1 is the solution. That's the only value for that mystery number that makes the statement true. So our answer here would be yes. Number 2 and 4 on your sheet are just like those. So if you need to check back with a video later for help on those, numbers 1 and 3 will be your guide. Now number 5, I apologize, got a little lazy when I rewrote this question, but it's a number decreased by 5 is 7. Now anytime we see this phrase in number, that would be our mystery number. We don't know the value, so we just use that symbol x. Decreased by means we're subtracting, so this means something take away 5 is 7. Now we're doing a few basic equations to start off. I want to remind you of inverse operations, which you learned last year, and this says a number decreased by 5, so we're going to undo that by increasing by 5. And with an equation, everything's the same, so you have to do that same thing, that plus 5 to each side. Well, those are inverses, so that just leaves you with the mystery number, equals 7 plus 5, which is 12. So this tells us the mystery number is 12. And the inverse operation we used, which is right there, was adding. Now, number 7 said the quotient of a number in 7 is 2. Quotient is our word for division, and the way we write that when we do equations is we're going to just write it as a fraction. So we're going to write a number over 7, and that means the quotient of a number in 7. And since that's equal to 2, we'll finish off the equation like that. Now, since quotient means divide, the inverse operation we'll use here is multiplication. And I'll actually put it in a different color so it sticks out. We're going to multiply each side by 7. And again, the multiply and the divide are inverses, so those 7s go right away. And I'll go back to the first color here, and that leaves us our mystery number is 14. So there we had division, so the inverse operation was multiply. And again, we did it to each side of the equation. Keep everything balanced. Number 9, you have a couple equations to work with. You actually have to come up with them. The first one says Marco has X number of pencils, so we don't know how many he has, but he buys 4 more. So the way we'll write this is some amount plus 4, and that gives him a total of 13. Most of you can do this in your head, but just for the sake of showing work, taking 4 away from each side will be the inverse operation we want, because that makes those go away. So our mystery number represented by X is all by itself. And 13 decreased by 4 is 9. So Marco had 9 pencils. That's parts A and B, just writing the equation showing the work. Last one we're going to do for you in this little tutorial is number 11. And in number 11, they did give a paragraph to explain where these equations came from. Very important you have read through them so you understand what the B means in this first one. And B is actually a certain number of books. Well, since 6 and B are right next to each other, that means multiplication. So our inverse here would be to divide. I know those look similar, but that is really a 6 and a B. If I write it capital, it makes it stick out more. But you divide the 6's away, and we're left with B. is equal to 144 divided by 6, which is 24. And in the second part of a number 11, this would be part B right here. You see we have a little division, but this time the mystery number is on bottom. This means 144 divided by something is 9. Well, what happens is if we put this over 1, we can think of this as cross multiplying, which gives us 9 of a mystery number equals 144. So you'll see the correct inverse operation here is to divide, and we're going to divide each side by 9, which gives us the mystery number has a value of 16, which is 144 divided by 9. Again, any of the evens that are in this packet are very similar to these questions we've done, so feel free to play it back, pause it if you need, but please complete all those even ones to finish the worksheet. Thanks.